give up 5 in soccer. That's a horrendous
You got
showing.
cooked.
That's more than cooked. 3 is a dominating performance. 5 is you didn't even have shouldn't have even shown up. All right, we're back. This week we're talking, a preview to the Copa America that's going on in just the near future. Off the backs of the U.S. men's national team, off of an embarrassing loss to Colombia, 5-1.
Yeah.
They go down 2-0. They kind of climb back into it, but at the end of the game, 5-1. Boy, there's a lot of question marks. But to be honest, is anybody really surprised by the performance by the men's national team? They perpetually disappoint. I mean, they did beat, Mexico 2-0 just recently, but they also had a 2-1 loss to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Just recently. I mean, this team perpetually disappoints. Are we surprised? I think, Mike, I'm just going to put it out there and then we'll turn it over to you for your hot take on this. But defensively, I'm worried. I'm definitely worried about where the U.S. men's national team is, whether they can hold up really in Copa America, whether there's going to be, a decent showing. I don't know, Mike. I just think that this is a pretty devastating loss to have going into a pretty big tournament like this.
Why are you hating on Trinidad and Tobago, Derek? Didn't you watch Mighty Ducks too?
Okay, to be fair, this is the same team that held Mexico 0-0 in the Gold Cup last year. So, I mean, there's some bright spots out of the tiny nation of Trinidad and Tobago. But a team, and with the population size that you have in the United States, you would think that they could put together a more dominating team.
That they would be able to beat Trinidad and Tobago. Dirk, I obviously, you never want to be embarrassed right before a major tournament. The good news is for the U.S., the opportunity to just wipe it clean is there. Sometimes you got to get that stinker out and just get it, get it wiped off of your slate, and then maybe you play a better tournament. But historically, I think that you want to go in with momentum. You've seen a lot of teams that have done very well in international tournaments who play well in friendlies leading up. Dirk, I think that the question is, what's the expectation for the U.S. men's team in Copa? What would you consider a good result for these
finals
guys?
Appearance?
You want the finals?
Yes, with where the team needs to go. If they want to have any, if they want to exceed expectations of what they did in the previous World Cup and keep that momentum going forward, this team needs to grow, and they need to make a finals appearance in the Copa America. Anything less is a disappointment, frankly. I mean, giving up 5 goals. It's one thing to lose.
Right.
Losing to Colombia going into this, not a big deal in my opinion. That's a pretty decent international team. However, giving up 5 goals prior to a major tournament, you've got to be worried about the defensive structure, even though it's an international friendly. I don't care. But if you're giving up 5 goals, I mean, dude, this isn't the NHL. This isn't football. This isn't, a bunch of other things that, goals that aren't that big of a deal. You give up 5 in soccer, that's a horrendous
You
showing.
got cooked.
That's more than cooked. 3 is a dominating performance. 5 is you didn't even have shouldn't have even shown up in my opinion.
Now, can we go back to Mighty Ducks for a minute? I'm going to just point out how great it is that in the Junior Goodwill Games in Mighty Ducks 2, Trinidad and Tobago sends a hockey team. Like what?
Cool runnings, man.
It really was. Yeah, and for some reason, the Soviet archetype nation in that film is Iceland. They've just decided to make Iceland the evil nation for some inexplicable reason. Gordon Bombay, if you were coaching Team USA, I'd have more faith. Not winning the Copa, Dirk. Sorry, not getting to the finals. It's not happening.